right? Very easy one. Let's see how you can't do a tracing table for this. Okay, you have to find the smallest number, right? Using this flow chart. So smallest number. So we have three numbers here, A, B, C, and we have to find out the smallest number, right? So how? Okay, I don't know if you have already tried this. So this is not easy. This is not a hard one. So let's see first what happens here is okay. Let's say you have three numbers like 15, okay, 15, 20, 15, 20. So we have to find out the smallest one, right? 15, 20, and let's say 10. Okay, if you want to find out the smallest one, what is the algorithm used here? What is the algorithm? How do you find out this? Right? First you compare first two numbers. See, first you compare first two numbers. So we'll take first two numbers like 15 and 20. You compare first two numbers, right? Then you know, okay, you compare the first two numbers, that is 15 greater than 20. Okay, so first you compare these two numbers. Now we know if this is true, right? You compare these two numbers. If this is true, we know first number should be larger than the second number. But if this is false, we know, right? We know if this is false, we know that first number is smaller. So this number is smaller, right? Is that clear? So now what happens is, okay, now we take the first two numbers, right? So we compare these two numbers and we get the smallest one. Okay, now we have the smallest one as 15. Now we keep this 15 and compare it with the other one, right? We compare it with the other one. So we have the 10. So you compare it with the other one. So if this is false, now we know the smallest one is 10. So this is the idea basically, right? So you have three numbers. You first take the two number and compare it. Find the smallest one. Now we have the smallest one, right? So let's say you have three numbers like 5, 2, and 10. You take these two numbers first and compare it. 5 and 2, you compare it. So you find the smallest one. So here the smallest one is 2. So you keep the 2 and you read the next one, third one, and compare the third one. So that's how you do it, right? Now we know the last, the finally, the last, okay, now the last one, the minimum, the smallest one is 2. So this is how you find it, right? You compare it and you find it. Give me a minute, 1 minute. Okay, so now if you look at this one, right? So here, look at this one. If you are not clear, right? You compare these two, A and B, right? Now, what happens? Okay, if this is true, if this is yes, tell me which one is which one? Okay, now we have compared two numbers. No, what should be the P then? What should be the P? So you have already compared A and B. So what should be the P? Now we know we have to compare the C, right? We have to compare the C. Now we have to compare the C with A or B. Now we have this question. Okay, can I say? Hold on a minute. Now we have to compare A or B. Now I'm asking, right, for the P, what should be the appropriate one? Are we going to compare with A and C or B and C? How do we know that? How do we know that? Okay, Raisa, how do you know it's B? How do you say it's B? Yes. How do you know it's B? Can anyone explain that? If you are saying B, then how do you know it's B? Why can't be A? Okay, if A greater than B is 2, then it's supposed to be B. Okay. Yes, one reason you can see here, we are displaying B and C, right? So that's where you can find out maybe. So we are displaying B and C. So we know we should compare in here, right? Okay, we compare whether the B, we have to compare B and C, right? Because you know, right, you are displaying B and C, right? Okay. Okay. Now, are we going to use the greater than sign or are we going to use the less than sign? Which one? For the P, so how do we decide it? Are we going to use the less than sign or the greater than sign? So I want you to explain why. Why? Okay, now how can anyone explain which one is the correct sign? Zahari, because B is larger than A, it will go through, yes. Okay. Yeah, that's also correct. Yes. We know if the A greater than B, right? So if it is true, right? So you're saying, okay, asking whether we have to use the greater than, right? One reason, yeah, if you look at the output here, if you look at the output, we are displaying B and C. We are displaying here B and C. So we know we have to compare B and C. That way also you can find. Okay. Now, which sign you're going to use it? Is it greater than sign or less than sign? Yes, who can answer this question? So are we going to use the greater than sign or less than sign? Yes, anyone? You can switch on the mic and talk, or if not, we can use any. We can use any. Okay. So you are saying we can say B greater than C or B less than C. So both will work. Okay. Yes, Zarin, if you are saying B greater than C, how do you find out that? Yes, Najat, if you are saying greater than sign, how do you come to that conclusion? How did you find out that? How did you find out that? Hmm? How? Come on. So how do we know that? How do we know we have to use B greater than C or B less than C? Anyone? Anyone? Yes, Arkam, can you tell me how? Yes, Uzma, how? Yes, because we need the smallest one. Okay, now look at this one. Very simple idea. Okay, you are using B less than C. Let's say you are using, let's say, give me a minute. Okay. You are using B less than C. Now, what happens if this condition is yes, B less than C, yes, but see, you are displaying C. The condition is true, you are displaying C. So can this be B less than C then? If this condition is true, you display the C. Then what should be the condition here? So we say if the B less than C, right? So if the condition is true, you should display the B, no, right? If the yes, right? So here, suitable one is, right? B, sorry, something happened to my pen. Right, B greater than C. Now look at this one. If the B greater than C, if the condition is true, okay, right? You display the C. Otherwise, you display the B, right? So is that clear or I don't know, right? Okay. That's why I asked you to try this at home, right? I think most of you did correctly, but I don't know. If you are still not sure, right? Maybe you can go through this again, right? Okay, now can you find out the Q? Can you find out the Q? Yes, Hamdi, yes, correct. AQ is correct, okay. Yes, Najat also correct. Yes, Umar. Okay, how do you know right now they are saying, okay, now, yeah, again, the same thing. We have to use A and C because you can say we have display A and C, right? So now it's A greater than C, right? Why can't be A less than C? A less than C. Okay, now look at this one, right? Now look at this one. We first compare two numbers, right? A and B. Now we know, okay, we say the condition is false. We say condition is false, right? Now A, we say A greater than B. If the condition is false, mean which one is smaller here? Which one was smaller? So which one is, because we want to find out the smallest one, right? We want to find out the smallest one. So we compare these two, right? A and B. So we say A greater than B, right? A greater than B. Now, right, look at this one. Now, if the condition is false, right? Look at this one. We are saying if this is false, then tell me in A and B, which one is smallest one? Which one is smaller, A or B? Right. So A is smaller. Say it's like this. So we are saying this is 5, this is 10, greater than 10, this is false. This is not true. If no, right, this is not true. So that means A is smallest one. This is the smallest one. So we, as I said earlier, if you have three numbers like 5, 10, let's say 2, if you want to find the smallest one, you take two numbers and compare it, right? Find the smallest one. So we know now which one is smallest. A is smallest. Okay. Now you have to compare A with other one, which is C. A with other one, which is C. Now we have to find out, right? So we'll take again, okay, we see whether A is greater than C, right? Whether A is greater than C, right? Okay, if the condition is true, if A is greater than C, which one is smaller then? Which one is smaller? If this is true, which one is smaller? A is greater than. So now we know first step, we found the A is smallest one, we compare with C. Now, if this condition is true, A greater than C, then which one is smaller, A or C? Can't be B, no, because we are comparing only A and C, Samiha. Yes, yes, Najat, correct. Look at this one. We compare now. First step, we found out A is smallest one. Now we compare with C. Now we say A greater than C. We say, okay, let's say like this. This okay. If you are confusing, like you can put a number here. Now let's say my A is 5. No, let's say my C is 2. Now tell me which one is smallest one, A and C. So A is greater than C. So now if this is true, my C is smallest one. So that's why we say display the C. So if the condition is true, you have to display the C, right? If the condition is true, yes, you have to display the C. Otherwise, you have to display the A, right? So in here, okay, now if you change the condition, let's say if you put like this, A less than C, okay, what happens? If A less than C, okay, look at this one, you can't put like this. That's why I'm explaining. If you write like this, that is wrong, right? Now, why this is wrong, Rima? Can you explain why this is wrong? Who can explain why this is wrong? A less than C, I'm saying this is wrong. Why is that? Try to understand the algorithm, right? I don't know. Maybe this is a very simple one, right? So can you easily find the answer, but the algorithm is important. So if I say A less than C, look at this one. If A less than C is true, or if the condition is true, okay, which one is smaller now? Let's say this condition is true. Okay, A less than C is true, for example. Already from first step, A greater than B is false, no? A greater than B is false. This is no false, because that's why we are going this way. So we know A is smaller. This is the smaller from A and B, right? My smallest one. Now I compare A and C. A less than C is yes. So which one is smaller now? First time I find out A is smaller, then I compare with A and C. Now again, less than C is true. So which one is smaller now? Which one is smaller? Ah, very good. Mayada, correct. Umar also correct. Now which one is true? No. Can you all, I mean, if I don't know, because you have to talk or you have to, I don't know, because I can't understand what's happening. So please respond. Please respond. Which one is smaller? Very good. So A is smaller. So now, if A is smaller, what you should display here then? What should be displayed here? If A is smaller, then you have to tell, right? You have to tell, okay, display A, because we want to display the smallest one. No? So we have to tell display A. Is that clear? That's why we select, right? We select, we don't select that symbol less than. So is that clear, Samir? Now we can't say now, but what happened here? We say display C, not A, not A. So what is the correct one then? You should have other way, like A greater than C, not A less than C. This is true, wrong. So you have to put A greater than C. Now, okay, now you take the condition A greater than C. Now what happens? If the condition is true, if yes, already we know in from this here, A1, A is smaller now. A is smaller, right? My A is, this is smaller. Now I compare with A and C. If condition is yes, that is true, no? Yes means true, no? Now which one is smaller? Which one is smaller now? Which one is smaller? A and C. So I compare it. So A greater than C. So C is smaller. So condition is true. So you display the C. That is the reason we select A greater than C. Is that clear now? Now, if other way, if no, we know which one is smaller. If this condition is A less than C is false. If this is false, that means A greater than C is not true. That means it's false. So which one is smaller again here? A is smaller. So you display A here. Is that clear now? So how do you find out the symbol, whether to use greater than or less than? You have to check the output here, right? You have to check the output and then you have to decide it. Is that clear? You have to check the output and then you have to decide it. Okay. Okay, we'll come to the other one again. Okay, now can you come to this one? Can you think of this? Okay, we'll take this one. Okay, A greater than B. Okay, we take A greater than B. If yes, okay, now which one is smaller? A or B? If it is yes, A and we compare A greater than B. So which one is smaller? Yes. Yeah, B is smaller. No, okay, now we know the smallest part. We take the smallest part B and other number is C. We have to compare it. Now we have a question whether to use this one or whether to use less than sign. Okay, now tell me, how do you decide that? Okay, if you use the greater than sign, right? Okay, B greater than sign. If yes, okay, if yes, so you are saying we'll take B less than C. If you use B less than C here, B less than C, right? If you use B less than C, right? Okay, if this condition is true, yes, which one is smaller? Already we know from this one, B is smaller. My B is small. Okay, this is a small number, smaller. Now you compare with B and C, again say B less than C is true, yes. So which one is smaller in this? Which one is smallest one? B. B is smaller. Then you should display here what? You should display B, not C. Not C, no? You should display B. So that this condition is wrong. So your condition is wrong. Then what should be the correct one? You have to select B, B, sorry, this, Give me a minute. So you have to select B greater than C. Now see, okay, now you compare B and C. Which one is greater now? Which one is smaller? B greater than C is true. Then we know B is greater than C. C is smaller. Then you can say display the C. Now it's correct. Now it's correct. So this is how you have to find out this condition. Is that clear to everyone? Any questions? So for the P, okay, you have to use B greater than C. For the P, you have to use B greater than C. And the Q, you have to use A greater than C. Maybe it's simple. When you look at this one, simple. But you should know the reason why we are using, why we are not using like this. Okay, what is the reason? So you should be able to justify, or you should be able to understand, because you know why. Most of the times, if you look at your paper, O-level paper, most of the questions are like fast papers, right? So they are using the same type of questions over and again and again. So if you, when you do a past paper question, try to understand, you know, in detail. So, okay, why we are using like this? Why we are not using this? Then, you know, maybe next time they might, you know, they may come, they may change a little, right? Maybe they change this these conditions. Okay, I'll show one example in 2021. So they have used, they have taken a question from 2015, right? So it's just a similar, very similar, right? So I'll show you that question in flowchart, right? So there are other examples as well. So that's why I'm explaining this, because if I won't explain only the answer, then it's easy, right? But you should know why we are not, I mean, using this condition. So why we are taking like this, okay? Right, any questions from this? Anyone, any questions? If you have just joined, I think maybe you have already did, then it's okay. Any questions? Okay, if you don't have anything, then we will do a small theory now. Right. I want you to, okay, now take your notebook. You can write this one. Okay, find out this is a different algorithm, right? So we have discussed a different method to find out. Look at this one. When you have three numbers, as I said, remember, how do you find out the smallest one? So we have like three numbers, right? 15, 5, 10. So as I said, you take the first two number and find out the smallest one, right? You take and compare the first two numbers, then you find out the smallest one, then you take the next number and compare it with the smallest one. So here the let's say minimum or the small one is 5. So you take the 5 and compare it with 10. So this is how this is the algorithm basically. Okay, now if you have like 5 numbers, if you have 10 numbers, how do you find out the minimum number? How do you find out the minimum number? So that is what we are going to learn today, right? So when you have like maybe we don't have the we don't know how many numbers, maybe 5, 10, 20. Then in that case, how do we find out the minimum number? So I'm going to give you the flow chart. Okay, write down this. Find out the minimum smallest. Oh no. So find out the large number. Okay, we'll go other way, right? So okay, find out the large number. Write down this. Find out the large number. Find out the largest. Okay, let's say find out the maximum number. Find out the maximum number from the below list. Find out the maximum number. Find out the maximum number from 15, 20, 25, 10, and let's say 5. Okay. So you have to find out the largest number, right? Or the maximum number out of these 5 numbers. Is that clear? Okay. Now, okay, I'm going to, I'll give you this flow chart. So you just do the flow chart initially, then we'll discuss, right? Okay. First, you don't need to answer anything. No questions here. There's nothing to answer, right? Right. Okay. Let me. Can you all see this flow chart? I don't know. Later, I will. Okay. How about this one? Is it okay? So, can you copy down this flow chart? Can you all copy down the flow chart, please? Okay. Right. So you start the flow chart, then input is there, right? Okay. So I will explain this. The first, just copy down this. So you have to, okay. Then right. So I think you can read the first one. Let's start, right? Okay. So we have to find out the maximum numbers from these 5 numbers, right? Let's make it like this. Change this to less than or equal to 5. Okay, once you completed this flow chart, please raise the hand so we can move forward. If anything is not clear, just ask me. But I will explain, right, how this will work. Yes, Sarah done. Very good, Sarah. So just copy down, right? Just copy down. That's enough. So this algorithm, this flow chart is an important chart, right? When you consider the exam, this is an important one. So try to understand. So when I explain this, so yes, once you're done, please raise the hands. Yes, Samiha, Uzma, you're still drawing. Nirukshi and Atika done, right? Okay. About others. Samiha, Shihan. Okay. Uh, so let's try to understand how this works. So okay now okay now let me explain the algorithm. Okay, let me explain how this works. Okay, when you have a list of numbers, for example, as I said, we have 15, 20, 25, 10, right? So okay, uh, can anyone explain by looking at this flow chart how does this works? How does this algorithm work? Can anyone tell me? by looking at this, right? Can anyone explain how this algorithm works? Algorithm, right? You know, we use algorithm because why do we write the flowcharts to represent the algorithm? So how this algorithm works? I'm not asking, I mean, you don't need to explain all these steps, but just if you can explain the idea. You maybe you better you talk if you have a mic. Multiples of 5 be multiples of no 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 this now okay, let us change the number. In that case, if you think this is multiples of 5, let us take a different number, set like 15, right? 15, let's take 22, then we take 23, okay, let's take 27. Okay, let's change the numbers then. 27, right? Then 10, finally we have 3. Okay, now tell me, these are nothing, no multiple things now. Yes, by comparing, yes, very good. That's one step. Okay. How do we, I mean, okay, how do we, okay, if you ask, okay, let's say you have 5 students, right? So you are taking 5 students in your class, right? So they have, let's say these are the, maybe let's say weights, right? Maybe kilograms, right? Weights, right? This much kilos, right? So you have 5 students. So, okay, if I ask you to find out the maximum weight out of this, right? How do you find out? Maybe we can just look at the numbers and we can tell, right? But if I ask you to write a program to find out the maximum weight out of this, right? Or the maximum number out of this list, how do we do that? That is the idea here, right? How do we find out that? Okay, now first thing, right? First thing, as we said earlier also, right? So we'll take the 15 first number. You take the first number and compare with the second number, right? If it is maximum, you compare with the second number, right? You take the first number and compare with the second number. Okay, now if this is true, which one is maximum? 15 greater than 22. If it is true, we know then the first one, 15 is maximum. If it is false, we know the second number is maximum. This is maximum, right? So what happens is we compare it these two, right? We compare these two, right? If this first number, then if it is greater than the second number, so we say the first number is maximum, and we use a variable called maximum, and we store that maximum value here. So see, my maximum value is this one. Sorry, okay, sorry, there's a mistake. First, okay, before you compare it, we use a variable called maximum, right? For initially, we take the first one. Okay, we assume that we'll take the first one, okay, as maximum. Forget about the earlier one, so it's a mistake. Okay, so if we use a variable called maximum, okay, we use a variable called maximum or max whatever. We use a variable called maximum, and we assign, or we'll take the first number, whatever the number, maybe it's the smallest one, but don't worry, we'll take that as the maximum. So we'll take the first one as the maximum. Okay. Now we compare the maximum, right? The value in the maximum with the second number. Right. Now what do you think? Is this true or false? Maximum greater than 22. Is this true or false? Yes. My maximum is 15 greater than 22. Is this true or false? Think and answer. Please think and answer. Very good. That is true. So you are saying 15 greater than 22 is true. Is that true? That is true. Yes. Think. What do you think? Because if you take a variable in your memory, right? What you have is a number called 15. So you compare that with 22 and we say, okay, 15 greater than 22 is false. No, it can't be true. It can't be true, right? Is that clear? It can't be true. So this is false. Okay. Now tell me, if this is false, right? So which one is now greater? If this is false, you are comparing two numbers. Now, is this false? Then which one is greater? Which one is greater? 22 is greater because this is false. Now, what you have to do is you have to delete, you have to override this and put that maximum number here. If this is true, right? You compare these two numbers and this condition is false. We know if this condition is false, okay, you compare whatever the number, okay, first number you assign to the maximum, you assume that first is the maximum. That's how we do, right? Don't ask me why. That's how we do. You assume the first number is maximum, then you compare with the second number. Okay, if this is false, we know my second number is bigger than that. So now we change the maximum to 22, right? Is that clear? Now what happens? You go to the third number. Now you compare the third number with the maximum. Okay, now tell me, okay, what is inside max now? What is the value inside the max? What is the value you see inside the max variable? What is the value? Very good. It's 22. Very good. It's 22. Now you compare 22 with 27. Okay, is this true or false? Is this true or false? 22 greater than 27, or is it true or false? That is false. So that means if this is false, no. That means, so you compare 22 and 27. So which one is bigger now? This is false, no. So which one is bigger now? Which one is bigger? 27. Now what you have to do, we found another big one. So we assume that initially 15 is the big one, largest one. But we compare with the second number, that is 22. Now we know, no, 15 is not largest one. 22 is larger. So what happened? We change the maximum. Again, now what you have to do is you override this and you put 27 here. Can you understand this algorithm? Right? So you compare it if the number is big. Okay, now you change it. Is that clear? Carefully, okay, you have to understand this. Okay, now let's move to the third one. Third one, okay. Who can explain the third one now? Okay, third one is no, fourth one, no, fourth one. We are done with the 27. Okay, now we compare the maximum with the next one, which is number 10. Okay. Now tell me, you can answer. If better if you switch on the mic and answer. Okay, is this true or false now? True or false?
True.
True. Why do you say true?
Because 27 is greater than 10.
Okay, very simple. 27 is greater than 10. Now your 27 is greater than 10. So this is true. Now see which one okay. Earlier we found a new maximum, because when you compare 15 and 20, initially you assume 15 is the maximum, you compare with 22. Now you know 22 is maximum. Now here you compare 27 and 10. Now which one is maximum? Which one is larger now? Which one is larger now? 27 and 10, you compare it, 27 is greater. So you know 27 is larger. So then do we need to change the value in the maximum? Do we need to override this again?
No.
No, so we don't do anything. Look at this one. If this condition is true, you don't override. If condition is false only, right? That means if you find a new big number, if you find a new large number only, you have to override the maximum. Otherwise, don't touch the maximum, because maximum is there. Okay, now let's move to the next number. Look at this one. What is the next number now? Next number is 3. So you compare the maximum and your 3. Okay. Now, if your maximum is, what is the value inside the maximum? What is the value inside the maximum now?
27.
Very good. 27. 27 greater than 3. Is this true or false? This is true. So now tell me, 27 and 3. So which one is the maximum now? Which one is the maximum? 27. So you don't need to edit it. You don't need to override it. Finally, if you come to the maximum variable, you can find your last value. See how this works. So we take each number. First, we have to assume the first one is maximum. You compare the first and the second one. If the second is maximum, only you have to change it. Otherwise, don't change the maximum. Like that, you have to repeat it. So what type of structure is this? What type of structure? Repetition. So we are repeating the same thing. So it's a repetition structure. Okay, now I want you guys to do a small work here. Okay, take these numbers 15, 20, 25. No, we'll take a different set of numbers. Okay, I'll give a different set of numbers. You have to draw a tracing table for this, right? Okay, write down. Let me because okay, these are the numbers, right? I'm going to change it. 5, right? 10. Then we'll say 4, right? 20 and 2. Okay, these are the numbers. You have to do a tracing table for this. You have to create a tracing table. Is that clear what I'm saying? Draw a tracing table. So you know how to draw a tracing table, but you have to take one by one, right? So initially, okay, before that, okay, I will explain this. Look at this one. First one, okay, first one, we are saying you input the number. Here, you have to take the first number only. In this one, you have 5 numbers, no? You take the first number, right? Input the number, let's say 5, you take the input 5, and maximum, okay, your variable maximum now, what is maximum now? Maximum equal to in. So what is the value of maximum initially? What is the value of maximum initially? 5, very good, sir. Very good. 5. 5. Right? Now count equal 1. Okay, I will tell, okay, now if I count variable equal initially 1. So we assign that one, that's given. Now we are checking the condition, count less than or equal 5. So you have to write the condition also, something happens. Okay, count less than or equal to 5. Right, okay, right, count less than or equal to 5. Initially, less than or equal to 5. My count equal 1, no. So less than or equal 5 is true. That's also done. True. Now again, you see, we are taking the second number. Look at this one. This is the second number. Second number. So okay, what is the end then? What is this end? What is this end? So we have already read the first number. Then we are saying input in, right? So your second in is 10. Your second number in is 10. Yeah. Yes. Very good, Asmat. So it's like this. So when you create the tracing table, so you start with the n, right? You start with the n. So first number is 5. So what you have inside the maximum is it's like it's 5. Then you have the count variable, right? Count variable is 1. Condition count less than or equal 5. I like this. So condition is true. Right now, you take the second number, second in, that is, yes, Asma said, yeah, 10. So now what happens? You compare the second number, n greater than max. Is that true or false? So n greater than max. Now tell me the condition n is 5. My n is 5. Max is also 5. Now tell me, is this true or false? N greater than n, 5. Sorry, max also 5. No. Okay, max also 5. Now tell me, is this true or false? 5 greater than 5. Is this true or false? That is false, right? So now what happens if this is false, right? Now what happens? Now what happens? So this goes to here, right? Go to the no part, and now the count will become count plus 1. So count will become 2. So again, the program will come to this starting point and check the conditions. Okay. Now you know it will repeat, right? You have to take other number. Now, second number input 10 mean your third number. That is your sorry. That is your no. There's a mistake. I think made a mistake, right? Because n should be 5, 10. Sorry. Right. Okay. Anyway, so this is how it works, right? Basically, so can you create this tracing table? Then we will discuss it later. Can you guys create it? I will give you like 5 minutes time maximum. Right. After that, we'll discuss. Right. If you have any questions, please ask me, because if not, I can explain it. So you have to do a tracing table for these 5 numbers, right? Yes, Arkam, you have a question? So if you have finished, you can WhatsApp me the table. I will check that. So these are the numbers 5, 10, 4, 20, and 2, right? Rinas, 5, 10, 4, 20, and 2. Okay, draw this table. Maybe I can help you something like this. So you start like, okay, you say first n, right? Then a variable called maximum. Then you have the variable count, right? Then you have the count condition, count less than or equal 5, count less than or equal 5. Then, okay, max is there, count, output. What finally what you are displaying, right? The output. Yeah, these are the variables, so you can easily compare it, right? So right, draw your tables. Draw your table. Yes, any questions, please ask me. So if the condition is true, will the count change? If the condition is true, which condition, Arkam? Which condition? Max equal n. This one, you're asking about this one. Yeah, it count both cases, right? Both cases, what happens? Okay, if the condition is true, let's say n greater than max, if this is true, right? Program will come to this area, come, then it assign a new value to the max. Then again, it goes to the count. So again, count will incremented by 1. Yes, count will change. Right? So both cases, count will change, because you are incrementing, because you want to move to the next line, next number. Am I answered your question? Arkam, am I answered? Okay. If the condition is true, will the count change? Yes, both cases count will change, right? because program will come to this one, then it execute this statement and comes to the count. So count will increment it. So, or if the condition is false, what happens? It jump to this no part, again the count it increments. So both cases, if the condition is true or false, in either way, count will increment it. Is that clear? Okay, so you do one by one, then you will understand this flow chart clearly. So I will show you when you do the past papers, you have similar type of questions. So I will maybe next class, I will show you that. So I hope everyone is drawing the flow chart, tracing table. So start with the first one. First one is 5, right? Then you just carry on. So you should know, you should be able to read this flow chart. That's the main idea, right? So first number, first input number. So you take the first number, that is number 5. Then you say maximum equal number, count equal 1. So that way you can carry on. Okay. If you have done, just raise the hands. So okay, how many of you done? At least, yes. If anyone completed, raise the hands. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Please ask me. If you don't understand any of this part, right? There are a couple of things I know. Some are new to you. So please ask me. Excuse me, sir. Shouldn't that count less than condition be count? Yes, yes, Smile. Yeah, I know. Yes, Smile. You're correct. Yes, Artika, very good catch. Yeah, I know that. Yes, that's the correct answer because I want to explain something, but you got it right. Good. Yes, my other also fine. Yes, what you are asking is correct. So I just want to see whether you guys, catch that. Yes, how many of you completed? So we know if you look at the number set, we know the maximum number is 20. So your tracing table, right, finally should show for the maximum, your tracing table should show the 20. So if not, there is a problem, right? If not, there's a problem. Okay, Hamdi, I got your answer. I will check that. Okay, if you have the phone, you can WhatsApp me the table so I can go through that. Okay, is anyone I mean, like doing nothing here. I mean, if anyone is, I mean, I don't know sir, how to create, so I'm just waiting. Raise the hands if you are like someone like waiting because I don't know. So I'm waiting, sir. I'm not nothing. I'm not creating. I'm not. I mean, if you are, if even if you don't know, but just try, right? Just try to do this. Will max equal n override n or max? Okay, now that's a good question. Okay, max. Look at this one. Others, when you say max equal n, right? This is like this, Uzma. So you are putting, right? What is this side? This is your. This is the left hand side, no? Am I right? No, right hand side, right? This is the R. So you are copying whatever in your right hand side to the left hand side. It's like you are taking and you're putting into this, right? From your right hand side, you copy to the max left hand side. Is that clear, Uzma? So when you say max equal n, right? When you say max equal n, that means you are putting the values or numbers in n into the max. If you say n is 10, so that means you're overwriting whatever the value in the max with a 10. So your max variable will be 10 now. Is that clear? So always from the right side to the left, right? Am I answered your question? Artika, right? Okay, I received Artika. I'll check that, and my other. Okay, I will check that. Yes. Okay. Good. So if you have any other questions, please ask me so that will be useful for others as well. Okay, so okay, now it's okay. Now I will first do one, right? One or two, then maybe you can continue. Okay, now please stop your work. Please stop all your work. Okay, let's do it, right? Let's do it. So maybe you can do with me, right? So you can stop your work and you can do it with me, right? What is the purpose of comparing count less than or equal 5? Okay, Hani. That is, you're asking this now, Hani. Because Hani, okay, we have to take, remember the method I said, you take the first number and you keep it inside the max variable and you compare the second number. So you take the first number and you compare the second number. Then you compare the third number. Then you compare the fourth number. So see, there is a repetition, no? There is a repetition. We have to repeat it. So how do you know you have to repeat 5 times or 10 times or 20 times? If you have 10 numbers, you have to repeat it 10 times. If you have like 20 numbers, you have to repeat it 20 times. Then how do you know that? How do you control that, basically? How do you control it? Through this count. This count. So we say, okay, I have 5 variables, so you have to go to we have to iterate it 5 times. So count is used for that purpose, so that you can check all the numbers. So this is a repetition. You can make this is a repetition. Is that clear? If you don't use that, you can't do that repetition because it will only work once. Hani, am I answered your question? If not, if you are not clear, you can just tell me. Okay. Right. Okay. Now we'll do it. Okay. You can stop all your work. Let's do it again. Let's do it together. Right. Okay. First one. Right. So these are the variables. Maybe if we need anything, we can add later. Okay. Initially, you read the first number. That is number 5. Right. Now you assign. See, max equal n. So what is maximum value now? What is the maximum value? That is 5. So count initially 1. All is this clear now? So we are just writing whatever given here. Right? We are writing the data given, right? Nothing new. Okay, now look at this one. Now you check the condition. What is the condition? Count less than or equal 5. What is that? Is count 1 less than or equal 5. Is this true or false? Is this true or false? Come on, come on. Is this true or false? So you can talk. True, very good. This is true. Now what happens if this condition is true? The program will go to the yes part. So again it says input n. Then what is that idea? Input n means you have to you have to take the second number. So what is the second number now? What is second number? What is the second number now?
10.
10. So you read 10. Now you compare n and max. Okay, now come here. What is n? What is the n now? What is your value in n? Look at the table and tell me. So n is what? N is what? N is
10.
10. N is 10 and greater than max. What is inside max now? 5. Okay. Now tell me, is this condition true or false? Is this true or false? Is this true or false?
True.
True. Now what happens? Program goes to yes part. Right? Now it says max equal n. So now what you have to do is you have to replace the max variable with whatever in this right hand side. As I said earlier also, as I explained to Uzma. So you have to replace now what is n? What is n? It's 10, no? It's 10. So this is your right hand side. You replace the maximum variable with this 10. Put this value. So what would be the new value of this max variable? This is 10. Is that clear? Is that clear to everyone? So I'm going very slowly because I want everyone to understand this, right? Sorry. Now what happens? Program. Now what happens? So okay, we are done with this one. Now program will come to this area and count will become count plus 1. What is the new value of count now? What is the new value of count?
2.
Very good. 2. So if you are in touch with this, then you can answer, right? 2. Right. Now we are done with the first iteration, first loop. We are done with the first loop. So loop come to this point. Is that clear? So one circle is over. So we'll do it second one now. Okay. Okay. Now tell me the condition. Now we check the condition. Count less than or equal 5. What is my count value? My count is 2 less than or equal 5. Is this true or false? Is this true or false? Is this true or false? If you answer, then I can move faster. That is true. Very good. True. So program will come here. Input n. Then what is the you have to take the next number. Input n. What is the next number? Input 10 mean 4. Very good. You are taking number 4. So you take input number 4. So here, this is number 4. Right? Now you compare n and max. Okay, your number n is 4. What is max? What is the max? What is the value inside the max variable? Now, what is the value?
10.
10. So you compare it, 10. Okay, now tell me, is this condition true or false? Is this condition true or false?
False.
This condition is false. Then what will happen to this program? Program will go to the no side or yes side?
No side.
Very good, Atika. So program will go to the no side here. So it won't go to the no yes part because condition is false. No. So now again it will come to the count, right? Although it comes no side, but the count is common because we want to move it to next line now. So what will happen to the count now? Count is count plus 1. What would be the new value of count? Count is 2, 2 plus 1. My count is 2 now, 2 plus 1, that is 3. See, 3. Now program will come to the starting point. So we have done with the second iteration. So we have completed the second part. Is that clear? Okay, now we'll move to the next one. Now let's check. Okay, now maybe you can do it anyway. Okay, now we are done with this one, right? Now condition, count less than or equal 5. What is my count now? What is the value of count now? 3 less than or equal 5. Okay, is this condition true or false? Is this condition true or false? What if you have any questions, please ask me, because if you WhatsApp me, it's difficult to read it because okay, anyway, I will read the WhatsApp later. Okay, if you have any questions, you just talk here, or you can send through the chat box, right? Okay, now condition is true. Now input in. Okay, what is your next input? What is your next value? What is your next in?
20.
Very good, 20. You take 20. Now you compare your n is 20, right? And what is maximum value? What is inside the maximum now? See, what is inside the maximum now? It's
10.
10. Now condition is true or false? Is this true or false?
True.
True. So the program will go to the yes part. Now max equal n. Now my maximum equal, what is n? What is n? What is n? What is my n? 20. So n is 20, maximum will get 20. So change the maximum to 20. Is that clear? Again, program will come here and count will become count plus 1. Now my count is 3. 3 plus 1 is how much? 3 plus 1 is still, it's 4. Right? Is that clear to everyone? So again, it comes to the starting point. So we are done with another iteration. We are done with another iteration. Is that clear? Okay, we'll take the next one now, right? So what happened? Okay, right, okay. Now next one. Count less than or equal 5. Okay, look at this one. What is my count now? Count is 4, right? My count is 4, less than or equal to 5. So you read the next number. What is next number? What is next number? Input in. What is the n? That
2.
is 2, right? So you compare the n is 2 greater than, what is max now? Max is, what is you have inside the max variable?
20.
20. This is your max variable. So 20. Is this true or false? Is this condition is true or false?
False.
This is false. So what happens? Program will go to the no part and then it increment the count. Count is now 4. 4 plus 1. 4 plus 1 is what? 4 plus 1 is 5. See, count will become 5. Right? So is that clear now? So I think okay, Maya, I will check, right? Okay, anyway. So now we have here, right? So we have done that. Now we'll check the condition now. Again, the program will check the condition. Okay, count less than or equal 5. What is my count now? Count is 5, less than or equal 5. Okay, now tell me, is this condition true or false? Is this condition true or false? False. True. But okay, 5 less than or equal 5, true or false? Less than or equal, is it true? Yeah, it's true. It's true. Don't worry, it's true. Now what happened? What happened now? Program will go to yes part and it will input n. So it should take the next number. What is the next number? What is the next number, guys? What is the next number? Yes, Uzma, what is the next number? No, there's no number. Yes, there's no number. So there is a problem with the condition. So can you understand? So, right? So you don't need the equal sign. Okay, you have to remove the equal sign, because if you put without the equal sign, then what will happen? 5 less than 5 become false. Then you can end the program. You can end the program and you can, display the output, right? Look at this one. So you have to change this condition. Change the condition to 5 less than, count less than 5. There's no equal, right? Because if you put the equal sign, okay, it will take six numbers, not 5. So don't put the equal sign. So you don't include the equal sign. So remove the equal sign. So without the equal sign, you have to do it. Is that clear to everyone? So that's why I just use this, because I want to show this. Right now, finally, okay, now you check the condition, count less than 5. Now check count is 5, less than 5, right? Less than 5. So is this true or false now? Tell me, count 5 less than 5. Is this true or false?
False.
Why do you say false? Because it is not equal, no, not equal, not, so it's false. So what happens? Program go to no part and it output the max. So what you will see in the output? What you will see in the output box?
20.
20. Because it will output whatever the value in your max variable. Your max variable has 20. See, now I have given 5 numbers. We know by looking at this number list, 20 is the maximum one. But when you write a program or when you write an algorithm, you should, you should have a method, right? You should tell the computer, okay, you do this way, because computers are dummy machines. As I said, they can't understand. They don't have this intelligence. So you have to guide them. That's why we write the algorithm. So here, don't worry. Normally, normally this is like a standard algorithm. So you have to remember this, right, for the exam. And also you should know how to, trace this, how you should know to understand how this works, right? So you should be able to, write this tracing table, and also you should be able to, remember the steps, because this is kind of a standard. This is kind of a book example. This is given in your book. So we say this is a text example, textbook example. So normally when you have a textbook example in your exams, they directly put this, because this is already given in the textbook. Right. So if you want, you can you can correct your tracing table, right? You can correct your this table. So write down the tracing table. And maybe if you have any doubts, if you are not clear, just watch the video again, because I just explained it very slowly. So maybe if you don't understand, you can watch it again, or if you still have question, you can ask me. Any questions? If you have any questions, you can ask me. So yeah, you send your, can we write this way? What is that? What is okay? I'll check your WhatsApp and the answers after the class. Okay, so if you have copied down, right, everything, if you have completed the tracing table, you can leave the class. So we'll meet on next Saturday. If not, just take a few minutes and copy down the tracing table. Okay, then everyone have a good day. See you all.